Let's do a monologue. Well, it got quiet all of a sudden. So the Democrats have a new campaign strategy. Pretend they're not Democrats, or at least 2020 Democrats. Call it the Witness Protection Program, where they pick up and move away from the scene of the crime, hoping you don't recognize them from the last episode of To Catch a Predator. But 2020 is hard to forget. Dems spent that year insisting America was rotten to the core, that the border was tighter than Tupperware, George Floyd was a hero, and COVID would wipe out a church service but couldn't touch a Black Lives Matter riot. No wonder they're hoping you don't remember a thing. They prefer a total blackout, the kind Kamala has after she wakes up with her pantsuit on backwards. But the thing is, we do remember, courtesy of a montage we stole from The Five.
The bill to form a commission to study how to do reparations. Would you sign that bill?
When I am elected president, I will sign that bill.
Of course I would sign it.
I would.
Yes, I would.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
The world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change.
A hierarchy of values in this country that diminishes certain people based on their color of the skin.
We are over-policed as a society, that we are investing in police, which is not solving problems, but making them worse.
We made it the law of our land to provide college financial aid to transgender students.
Oh, it's good to hear this stuff. Back in 2020, those weren't fringe ideas. It was their platform. It wasn't a campaign, it was an orgy of bad ideas, and we got stuck with the carpet cleaning bill. Now fast forward to today and poof, it's all gone. Vanished like a box of pastries outside Chris Christie's office. Because according to Axios, Dems are actively running away from their own positions on border security, DEI, crime, climate, and COVID lockdowns. You got governors saying they'd handle COVID differently. Gavin saying that Dems have to be more culturally normal, which is like Hillary Clinton telling you not to hang people. You got candidates disowning to fund the police, and now they're even pitching tax cuts. Yes, tax cuts from Democrats. That's like Vin Diesel pitching dandruff shampoo. Katie Porter, Chris Van Allen, Cory Booker, all floating plans to cut taxes, even though they voted against Trump's tax cuts, of course. So don't believe it. It's like a 14-year-old deleting his browser history when his parents walk into the room. But once mom and pop leave, the brat's back on Gutfeld camtoiletpics.edu.
Looking for that weather picture.
Yes. So really, wokeism isn't dead any more than a zombie can be dead. Oh, you think they're gone and everyone relaxes, and then bam, they pop up again, hungry for brains because they don't have any. That's because the same instincts are still there, the urge to control, punish, and take what's yours. It's like when a 58-year-old gets a facelift. Yeah, you look 35 now, but only because of all the work that you had done. That's really not who you are. And if you don't believe that, take a look. Yeah. That's the before and after. So the next version won't be called Defund the Police. It'll be something softer like community-led safety. And it will be worse because now there will be two chalk outlines, one around the victim and the other around the social worker who showed up with a box of tissues. That's why you can't let people forget. But it's easy to without context. It's not 2024, and Joe and Kamala aren't there to remind you why you needed Trump in the first place. So Trump's on his own, warts and all. It's no wonder the right starts fighting each other instead of remembering what they were up against. But woke isn't gone. Hardly. Roll our second montage, Pierre.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay?
White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant because nobody wants to see your smug ass.
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a 4th degree tear. I hope that you rip from bow to stern and never normally again, you.
They're an ICE agent, bring some X-Lax and put it in their drinks. You know, nobody's going to die. Just enough to incapacitate them.
You know, the Dems really wish their base would shut up because they're the ones that will keep you from forgetting. See, the Democratic Party is like a thug with 44 priors. And to stay out of jail, they got to make their past inadmissible in court. And we can't let that happen. Because the biggest problem isn't what Democrats deny from the past. It's what they'll do to us next as soon as they have the chance. So Canada's new Democratic Party, the NDP, just held a convention to pick a new leader. And the country's most urgent crisis? White men. I wonder, what are these cards?
These cards are to help the chair hear equity-seeking persons, and that we don't only hear from white male delegates. During the housing resolution, after a white man spoke, someone at this mic waved their equity card only to give their speaking spot to a white man. I just want us as a body to understand the spirit of these cards, because we are a party governed by processes and not by any sort of shock doctrine.
Oh my God, what did he say? To solve the white dude plague, these socialists handed out gender equity cards, passes that gave speaking priority to women, minorities, and trans delegates, because we really don't hear from them enough. And the meeting's non-binary chair, Adrian Smith, led the charge.
I will invite delegates to assist me in better using the card by forming a straight line behind the microphone with a prominently displayed equity card. If I see speakers ahead of you who are not holding a card prominently, it would be wrong of me to guess about their gender identity. This applies so far, according to your rules, for gender identities other than a dude.
Oh, anyone other than a dude. Need I remind her that men have always been picked last, starting with lifeboats. But even the word straight upsets her. She could barely say it with a straight face. But for a non-binary individual, she's sure bending over backwards to look exactly like a straight white male. Or at the very least, Hermie the dentist from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, but once these cards got dispersed to the safe space saps, the convention got more divided than a conjoined twin at a saw factory. Were you standing here with your gender equity card?
I was standing here with my gender equity card before you called on the previous speaker.
I did want to bring attention to the fact that a fellow delegate is holding the gender parity card. So
let's take the microphone to that delegate. We'll hear from them right now.
Thank you, Joyce Ballas, Linda Spansha, she, her.
I think our Constitution needs to recognize that, and I also recognize there is, I'm sorry, I'm speaking way too fast. I'm so sorry, I get excited.
It's hard as a racialized and transgender delegate to sometimes use this card. I was rejected when I talked, and it's frustrating when these are my rights being directly under attack right now in Alberta.
Yesterday, this card was used in an inappropriate manner. These cards for individuals like myself who identify as a Black woman have no value outside of this space.
Wait, they're attacking Black women in Alberta? I thought Alberta was a Black woman. I'm so confused. But you gotta love this. These jackasses are literally playing the race and gender cards. Identity is no longer about acceptance, it's competitive. It's like when I complained that I had bronchitis, then Kat one-ups me with cancer. But don't worry, they eventually got to the important stuff. Did you notice the microphone seemed really low today?
The microphones seem really low today. It's hard to hear everyone at the mic.
Closed captions for this convention are running between 6 and 10 seconds behind.
Also, like, they don't have enough pens when we're there, so there was a very long line up.
Not enough pens. Not enough height on the mic. Not enough speed on the captioning. It seems when you give these douchebags what they want, it will never be enough. It's like when we gave women the right to vote, and now they want to keep voting. Oh, thank you. I don't know what you're applauding for, but it wouldn't be a left-wing convention without some barbaric misgendering.
Right now, there's discussions of 10,000 American men and women being sent to Iran, being deployed, just to be part of this bloodbath. Canada cannot and will not be part of the legacy of blood. This is a no question debate. I call this question, Madam and Chairs.
I'll again thank delegates not to call me Madam Chair or Madame la Présidente. I'm a non-binary person. My pronouns are they, them, and their.
No, they're they, them, their. Anything to get her into the carpool lane. Now, after all that, you might be wondering who they elected. A two-spirit, non-binary Honduran illegal? Perhaps an up-and-coming lesbian Aladdin? No, after an entire weekend focused on identity politics, they elected a white dude.
Our plan is to Trump-proof the economy by investing massively in Canadian economic independence, using the unmatched power of public ownership to ensure the fundamentals of a good life.
Ugh, what a white dude. I wonder what his pronouns are, douche and bag? But it's typical. Not only does socialism fail in theory, it fails in practice. The last time the world laughed this hard at Canada is when our hockey team beat him like a rented moose. It's funny because this was Canada's main opposition party in 2011. Now they're in a distant third place. Sound familiar? Yeah? And why? The modern left in America and now Canada placed one issue above all: identity. Forget crime, illegals, homelessness, or the baffling popularity of Drake. Their strategy? Equity cards. They created a system where differences are exalted instead of similarities, which only results in conflict. They end up turning on themselves because identity politics is a zero-sum game. I suppose other Canadians should be grateful. I mean, if you let the self-absorbed devour each other, they're less likely to annoy you. Except until they get into power, which means maybe it's time for us to build the wall along the northern border. All right. So Gavin Newsom manages to bizarrely top himself every time he gets on camera. Last week, he announced an expansion of the California Service Corps, which apparently is geared at recruiting young men. It's kind of like what Don Lemon does every weekend, but here, the recruits don't end up naked and afraid. Seems like a decent idea until you see the guy leading it is in the thralls of a nervous breakdown. I wonder, are you also weird?
I'm also weird. Sharon, forgive me. No, this is embarrassing. You can turn all that off. Just because all the noise, that we just need to turn off. And listen to this. This is it, man. This is it. You want to fix all this stuff? This is it. Listen to these guys.
What the hell did he just say? I didn't even cry like that when my childhood pet ferret died. And believe me, he did not taste like chicken. But crying never helped anyone. It didn't get me to take Taylor Swift back. I know. Surely he stopped crying, though, and said something that made sense.
We're all just sitting there yelling and screaming at each other. Everybody's getting each other's throats and trying to tear everybody down. And, how are we going to get out of this? This is it. You heard these guys. Programs like this, community leaders like this. And it's like, why are we so stupid? Why can't we just get this? It's so obvious what we need to do. And so I'm just deeply proud of this.
Proud of what? This is paid volunteering. I mean, what the hell is a paid volunteer? That's an oxymoron like Jumbo Shrimp, Icy Hot, and CNN Reporter. And he's crying over this, but not people murdered by illegals after a state ignored their ICE detainers. So why was this speech so hard to give? No tough questions from reporters or constituents whose houses burned down, and yet he wept. There are people whose energy is contagious and they inspire you. But Gavin's energy is the reverse. It's selfish energy, where one's self-expression is the priority and you should feel it too. Instead, you're just uncomfortable. But it's what people do when they can't talk about anything that can be measured. Things like immigration, crime, homelessness, fires. No talk about low test scores or insane gas prices, because anything that affects your standard of living can be graded. And for Gavin, it's a solid F. So instead, he puts all his energy into things that can't be measured, his passion. But Trump doesn't do that. He talks constantly about things you can measure, whether it's bombing terrorists, reducing fraud, or increasing the attractiveness of Dana Perino. Yeah, he obsesses over things to a fault. I mean, is it going to be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world? Highest level, same height?
I think it'll be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. It's the highest level. Same height, exact height, if not higher. Same height as the White House, exactly the same height.
See what I mean? We didn't even ask for that. But Gavin can't do that. Listen to him from 2014, where he admits the high-speed rail was a sham.
Depending on how you analyze it, I doubt very much even the most optimistic assessments of the next decade. Good people can disagree, but the facts seem overwhelming that this project is not going to materialize in our lifetime. We started with $33 billion. It went to 96. We value engineered it, so it's no longer quote unquote high speed rail. It's higher speed rail. We wildly overstated the ridership projections. We manipulated some of the revenue projections.
It's amazing we're just seeing this. Watching him tell the truth about something he was lying about for years, it's like watching a serial killer eventually giving in and telling the detectives where he buried all the bodies, hoping it will reduce his sentence. This should be a campaign ad for whoever runs against him. So yeah, it was all a scam. They knew the project wouldn't work, but they spent the next decade selling it anyway. And now we know it's never going to happen. The high-speed rail is literally off the rails, not unlike Gavin's equally vacuous wife. Here she is in 2023 talking about a trip to Alabama to show her kids what racism looks like.
You took your 4 kids on this trip. You're here in Alabama now. Why was it important to you to take them on this trip to red states and learn about the history in our country?
It's part of, enlivening them, building their curiosity, expanding their hearts, their empathy, so that they themselves can be the change they wish to see in the world and recognize that, we have work to do and that we have healing to do. And so that they can be, use their voices to stand up and speak out when they see pain and suffering and bullying and racism and misogyny around them. I'm a truth seeker. They need to know the truth.
The healing, the work. They need to know the truth. What, that their mom is just as full of as their dad? Hey, Mom. Hey, Mom, can we go to Disney World? No, kids. We're off to shame white people in Alabama. But hell, if they wanted to see black people who are truly forgotten, why not just visit the cities run by liberals in California? These two are not a power couple. They're just a better-looking version of Jim and Tammy Faye Baker. Self-promoting egotists who game the system by seizing control of it. And the scariest part is this is the best the Dems got. It shouldn't be Gavin who's crying. It should be them. Their resolution cannot ID who sits down when they pee. House Democrats in Pennsylvania shelved a resolution that would have honored March as National Women's Month after a Republican male lawmaker asked to include the definition of the word woman in the bill. Roll it, Leslie.
Resolution recognizing the month of March 2026 as Women's History Month in Pennsylvania.
Will the House agree the resolution? Representative Bernstein offers A 02716. Will the House agree the amendment?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this amendment is very straightforward and clear. It defines what a woman actually is because we do know what that is. Thank you.
The resolution is temporarily over.
Wow. That was our video of the day. So the bill was supposed to celebrate the extraordinary accomplishments of women, but these people couldn't even do that because women were scared of other women who would call them out for embracing men who think they're women.
What's a woman?
Shut up, Gerard. One thing's for sure, these women will not be celebrated for anything extraordinary except their cowardice.
Well, first of all, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Because you are what you eat. That's all.
I think enough said. I think there's enough said after that.
I'm gonna press you on your actual feelings about this, Sherrod.
I mean, everybody wants to be noticed and, and give credit for what they go through.
But the cat's point is we're paying for this.
We're paying for, PA is paying for it. Isn't this in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Let them Quakers do what the Quakers do. I ain't getting involved with that Hershey money. Do they think?
Hershey money. Find fraud and make money. Tyra's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is launching a new whistleblower program that targets massive scams in Medicare and Medicaid by offering tipsters up to 30% of the fines collected from the cases. It's like that stuff the Somali stuff in Minnesota.
This is great. Now we have like Oak Island in government. Yeah. Everyone's going to go out and looking for fraud treasure. Didn't
we bring this up on the show?
Yes, we did. We you know what? We have made a lot of policy on this show. And I would like to say on behalf of all of us, not on purpose.
Yeah.
We say stuff and be like, man, that was crazy. Can you believe we said it? And the next day, we will now blow up terrorists in the water stealing drugs, and we said last week, get rid of the filibuster. Hey, we're going to get rid of the filibuster. So now, this is actually good. The only thing is, they need to make sure they have really good people on the tip line. Mm-hmm. Because everybody's going to say fraud.
Right.
Yeah. Every man who's getting divorced is going to be like, I am a victim of fraud. She's taking all my... So I think they need to be very specific with this.
Yes.
And they need to make sure that it's upon conviction. I don't want to get into the whole where everybody's going after everyone for a buck,
Right.
So,
yeah.
But I think on the surface, it's a good idea.
How many munchkins is it costing to keep the lights on in Boston? Massachusetts Governor Democrat Maura Healey used Dunkin' Donuts munchkins to illustrate lowering energy costs. Her state, by the way, has the second highest residential electricity prices in the country, second only to a small country called Hawaii. And I bet lowering your energy bill is her top priority.
So lowering your energy bills is my top priority. Now, how does that happen? That's a little more complicated. So let's talk about energy in a way that everyone understands. With munchkins. Picture this. You're at work or school, wherever. It's 9 a.m. and no one's eaten breakfast. Someone shows up with one of these. Demand is high. Everyone wants a munchkin or 2 or 3, but we've only got 25.
Only 25? Is this going to involve math? Let me guess. People are hungry for energy, and the donuts supply it, and that's where we're headed with energy.
That's where we're headed with energy. So how do we fix that? See this glazed munchkin? That's wind. Massachusetts already has an offshore wind project lowering our energy bills as we speak. This sprinkled munchkin? That's solar. Solar is the cheapest, fastest way we can bring more energy into Massachusetts. This chocolate munchkin? That's storage. Storage is when we take energy off the grid when it's cheaper and we store it like you do in a battery.
So wait, you said everybody would understand this. I thought this was about supply and demand. Yet each munchkin is a form of energy? You still have only 25 munchkins. If there's more than 25 people, you didn't actually solve the problem. You didn't solve for quantity, which was the whole point. Which leads me to a bigger question. Do you want a governor who needs donuts to explain energy and still gets it wrong? Why not tell voters in clear language how to supply more energy so energy is cheaper? But then she can't expense the bill for her staff's donuts and pass it on to the consumers. What's next? Around lunchtime, she's going to describe illegal immigration using plates of lobster thermidor. Then around dinner, explain reproductive rights with steak tartare. The typical Democrat, always eating their problems instead of solving them. Why does The View hate motherhood?
Your view on The View. Ugh.
They'd rather ever see chicks cuddle cats that give birth to little brats? The View lost their minds this week after a conservative influencer suggested women should get settled down, get married, and have kids. First, the influencer, Isabel Brown.
You're not encouraging your children to grow up and have the courage to get married and have kids, more kids than they can afford before they think they're ready. It is high time to start. It is these choices, like deleting our dating apps and quitting birth control pills and saying I do at the altar, that ultimately trickle down into the political policies that we will see save our country.
That seems okay to me. Now, The View's nuclear meltdown.
What is she? What? I think it's just really reckless to be suggesting that people should have children when you now know in this country there's this affordability crisis. She's advocating for people to be born into poverty, people not being able to feed those children, people not being able to educate those children, and people not being able to house those children at the same time when this government is cutting all of the services that would allow people to have families and big families and children.
It wraps a woman's worth up in her ovaries. Bottom line, if you're not paying my bills, you don't get to tell me what I do with my uterus.
Wait a second, Anna. Does that mean if I do pay your bills, I can tell you what to do?
Do it, Greg. Do it.
I will pay the invoice for your 10 grand of ham just to tell you to shut the up. But it is weird that people who think the rich are greedy and the poor are noble believe that only the rich can reproduce. After all, it's an affordability crisis, something that never existed when their parents had kids or their parents' parents had kids. Underneath this fake concern is arrogance and condescension. They can have kids, but the poor shouldn't. And by the way, the conservative influencer was encouraging people to have kids. She wasn't saying you have to. No one is demanding that people reproduce with panelists at The View. Trust me. The second video comes from the Miss Grand Thailand beauty pageant, where one contestant lost her fake teeth mid-speech. Watch. Let's see that again in slow motion. Canada prescribes death for back pain. Tyrus, it was only a matter of time. An 84-year-old Canadian woman went to the ER in Vancouver for a back injury, and the doctor suggested euthanasia because she was 84. Isn't this what we expect at this point? It's like it's the first. You know, have you thought about killing yourself?
You know what? I gotta be honest. I love this doctor. No, I do. What is wrong with being brutally honest with someone? The one person you want to be straight up honest with you is your doctor. You went in for a back thing, and the doc's like, "Listen, you have a back thing, but you are the most shot out 86-year-old I've ever seen in my life. In my professional opinion, we should put you down." I spoke to your husband, your children. They all filled out the form.
That's terrible.
Like, no, I'm just saying, I think this should be an option.
Your fans are going to be so mad at you.
My fan? What? I didn't fill out the paperwork. Her family did. I'm just saying, this should be in every seriously.
Every doctor's office. I have an ingrown toenail. Do you consider killing yourself?
The doctor's just like, look, besides the ingrown toenail, you're 57 years old, you're unemployed, you can't get a job on a network, you're never going to be president. Sir, maybe your family filled out the paperwork.
I love it. I love it. Tyrus keeps saying your family filled out the paperwork. That's the fear, Kennedy. Yeah. It's like, let's say you're older and you're living and you got some money and your kids are just like this. Yeah. And then finally this law comes in and they're like, I know a doctor. Like, you should go.
Can you imagine that ride home?
I know your back feels okay. Let's go to the ER.
Yes.
Okay. I filled out some paperwork. Everything's fine.
I filled out.
And Tyrus, Your entire fan base is old women with bad backs. They think that if you make love to them, it will heal them, and you're trying to hasten their trip to St.
Well, as a married man, the only answer if that happens, is euthanasia. Like, I'm glad you had a good time. Yep, me too. Sorry.
I don't like the people in charge of this.
I don't like
They don't like
Canada.
people.
I mean, after the whole hockey thing and Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau, and now they're just killing old people. I'm completely over Canada. I think they should secede from the United States.
I know. Do you know, it's, by the way, just to the side, they're not just suggesting it to old people, young people too, people who are depressed.
But they've killed 75,000 people with this. It's called MAID, medically assisted, like, involuntary death. I don't know what the ID stands for, but it's like you're dying. And you're dying because these really, people in white coats who are very authoritative come to you and go, you could get physical therapy or take some pain pills, or we could drop the plunger and I could put a pillow over your face and it'll all be done.
It's insane. Jamie, I've heard your audiences wish they were dead.
Honestly, man, I'm very old school. Like, if a doctor kills me, I want it to be by mistake.
You bring up a great point. If they don't kill you, do you sue for malpractice?
And are you afraid a doctor is going to kill somebody and be like, oh, she just whispered that I was supposed to do it? If I did assisted suicide and they were like, you want to pay cash, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to use a credit card. Did you know, I got a deep dive on this. It's very upsetting, like legitimately. 30% or something, please verify this because I don't know if that was the number. You heard what I said about that lady's followers earlier.
Yeah.
They said 30% are same day.
Yeah.
You decide that day. So like no time to reflect or anything. We put a dog to sleep and it took us weeks because it was such a heart-wrenching decision. Now they're doing it the same day. I remember trying to make my wife feel better about the dog. I go, he already sleeps 20 hours a day. What's 4 more?
It's so
Unfortunately, that same argument can be made for some of the people in our lives.
Yeah. Kat, this seems like an ideal job for a serial killer to to be in charge of euthanasia in Canada.
Yeah. Every time I go to the doctor, I am there specifically to not die.
Yeah.
That's specifically what. But imagine this was like your grandma and you like on the phone with her on the way to the appointment and you're like, okay, call me after and let me know how it goes.
Yeah.
And then she's like, they told me to kill myself. It's just outrageous. I mean, did she even bring it up?
I don't know, but this is like, if you look at this, it will blow your mind. I mean, they're broadening it, and I never trust anything that uses a nice acronym like MAID. Like, it should be death.
Or send.
Send? They all can't be winners, Tyrus. All right.
Oh, he's sending you to the other side. You're shipping.
I got you.
It's a trip. It's fun. Make them feel good before you give them the shot.
No. Gen Z crybabies at work. Kennedy, I'm getting tired of these stories about Gen Z, but here goes. This is according to the New York Post. Working 9 to 5 is just too much for Gen Z employees. That's people in their 20s. And they use their breaks to take naps and cry. All right, do you buy this?
No, I don't think they're crying. The napping, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of napping during the day. I got a great idea from this. A guy went to a movie theater, to one of those reclining seats, $15, put his AirPods in, pulled his beanie down, and napped for 2 hours. I was like, brilliant. People can come see me in Norfolk, Nebraska next weekend and nap through my entire show.
You know, that
like
was
what you did
just
there. Yeah.
A plug for her show. There was nothing.
KennedyNation.com for tickets.
There was nothing in there of merit.
No.